what's town. Cross customs, straight off the jumbo jet. Hey, straight off the jumbo jet. Hey, straight off the jumbo jet.
Hey friends, happy 2019, happy new year. I am here, your girl Shah here with another Tingz nice vlog post for you. And this time I am sharing some travel tips with you. 15 travel tips to be exact. Or as you may already know, I am somewhat of a frequent traveler, and when I travel I like to do so in a way that makes sense, in ways that will help my travel experience hopefully be better than the last. So I always want like a smooth and seamless transition whenever I'm traveling, and I know that traveling gives a lot of people anxiety, and it doesn't have to, right? As long as you plan, as long as you are thoughtful about your actions, as long as you don't procrastinate. And I know that life sometimes gets in the way, but we're going to do our best, right, to make sure that our travel experience is on point. So here we go. Let's just start off with some tips. This is just what I do. Your circumstance might be a little different, but if it works for you, keep doing it. If not, here's some tips. So one thing to keep in mind is what your activities look like when you get to your destination, right? So for me, for the most part, I'm always packing for fêtes, right? I'm always packing for partying. So what I like to do is I like to keep all like the important things that I'm traveling with, whether they're tickets or whatever documentation I need, keep that in your hand luggage. But an essential thing to keep in your hand luggage is that first fête outfit, right? From the jumbo jet into the fêtes, that is ideal. So always keep like at least one change of clothes in your hand luggage, just in case they lose your luggage, just in case when they ask you to check your bag because there's no more overhead space. Yeah, we don't want that. When you're packing your suitcase, make sure that you put some type of unique identifier on it so that you know that it's yours. Like, I like to have suitcases that are not like other people's, but even then, like, I've seen someone have my carry-on, I'm just like, oh, but just in case I have to check it, I know, okay, boop, that's my bag, and it makes things a lot easier. But you should also always check the tag regardless to make sure that that is yours. If you're concerned that your luggage might be overweight, you can see how much your luggage weighs before you leave. So even if you use like a regular bathroom scale, that can kind of gauge like how much weight is in your suitcase. But you can buy an actual weight specifically for luggage, and you hook it onto your luggage and you lift it up, and it tells you how much your luggage weighs. And then that way you'll be able to gauge whether or not you need to take something out or you can keep it in there. Be mindful of the weather. So check the weather report for when you're leaving and going to your destination and when you're coming back from your destination. When you're packing, also leave room in that luggage for your outerwear so that you have some place to shove it once you get to that destination. You don't have to like have it in your hand. Like, I try to be as free as possible. I really don't like holding stuff. That brings me to the next point about like when you're transitioning, when you're at counters, when you're going through security, always try to put things back in the same place. Make sure that you have your stuff together, and don't necessarily worry about the person behind you who may be trying to rush you and get to the counter. Put everything back where you got it from initially so that you know exactly where to go to the next time that you need to look for that. So every time that you go through security and you're taking off all that stuff, put the passport in that place. You don't need to hold your passport anymore to go through the security scan, and definitely don't just leave it chilling in the bin that they have you put through. Put it in your stuff, like in your bag or something. It needs to go somewhere. Same thing with your phone. Okay? Sometimes you may be going to your destination with a carry-on, but you know that you're going to come back with checked baggage. Like for me, like if I know that, okay, I'm going to Jamaica, I don't need to check a bag going. However, I do plan to buy liquor on the way back, and my connection is not, it's not a direct flight, so I'm going to have to check this in. I'm going to have to put it in my luggage. So always leave room in your luggage, either in your carry-on, or bring an extra bag to put in your carry-on to use as checked baggage on your return trip, if that makes sense, right? So you always want to have like, okay, in case I check something, this is going to go in here, and this is now going to become my hand luggage. Another thing that I like to do or not do when I'm traveling is like I try to wear as little jewelry as possible. So, because I don't want to beep. Like, I don't want to go through the machine. I don't want to beep. Like, I don't wear jewelry really. I don't wear earrings until like I get to the destination. But I'm just like really, really plain belts, whatever. Like, I try not to wear any of those things. Shoes that have like slip-on shoes, anything that doesn't require lacings. Like, I just really try to be very, very, very simple because I don't want any holdups. And then as far as preparing when you're home, unplug all the outlets in your home that you're not really going to use, that's not going to interfere with anything. Like, you don't want to unplug your fridge, you don't want to unplug your oven, but you can. But like, television, speakers, lights, lamps, or anything like that, just unplug all that stuff. Save a little bit of electricity and then just plug it back in when you get home. The other thing that I like to take advantage of when I'm traveling is getting the opportunity to clean out my fridge. So it's a good excuse or a good reason or a good time to clean out your fridge. Take out all the things that might perish while you're going to be away. One of my rituals before I travel is not going to the supermarket and not buying anything. Really, I try to kind of just use everything that's in my fridge or whatever I have in my cabinets before I travel. Number one, I'm saving money, and number two, I'm making sure to use those things that might perish and not just throw them away. I used to be a window person, and I do like the view and all that stuff, but I'm an aisle person for a number of reasons. Number one, if I need to use the restroom, I do not want to climb over anybody. I don't want to say, excuse me. I don't want to have to wait for you to get up for me to go to the bathroom. I just want to go. Number two, if by some reason my connecting flight or my flight is delayed, I want to have quickest access to the door to get off the plane. Another reason is like my legs, like they're kind of long, they're on the long side, and I need, some place to stretch sometimes. So even if I have to like turn myself and stretch a little bit, like I have that opportunity if I'm, especially if I'm not sitting in like an exit row, but I can do, I can stretch. My knees are getting bad and stuff. So it's very convenient. Aisle seats, don't sleep on aisle seats. And it's easy access to your overhead luggage, right? So if you know that, I had a blanket up there I forgot to get, you don't have to ask anybody. You just get up, get your stuff, and put it back down. Okay, so lots of perks, lots of benefits for an aisle seat. Before you leave the counter, make sure that, especially if you have like TSA pre-check or global entry, make sure that your TSA pre-check is actually on your boarding pass, right? So I've gone and I've gotten all the way to security and I realized, I was like, oh, you don't have pre-check. I'm like, I literally go back to the counter. I was like, can you reprint my pass for me, please, so that it can have pre-check? Because the general line, ain't nobody doing that. No. Then if you are a dual citizen like I am, you need to, when you're traveling and you're going to that country with the passport, like the foreign passport, make sure that you're using the right passport to get into the country. And then on your way back into America, make sure that you're using your American passport to get back into America. Sometimes, like, if you have like your moments and you're not like all the way awake, like you could give the wrong passport, and you do not want to do that. So if I'm leaving America and I'm going to like Turks and Caicos, I'm using my Turks passport the whole way through, and then when I get to Turks, I go through that belongers or that residential line, go through, get my stamp, and come back. And sometimes on the way back, when I'm using my American passport, and they'd be like, oh, where's the exit ticket? I'm like, I use my Turks passport to get in, so I don't have an exit ticket. So that should be okay. You should be good to go after that. And then finally, like, just always use the restroom right before you get on the plane, especially if you have a small bladder or whatever. Just use the restroom right before you get on the plane. It's definitely beneficial. Like, I usually go once they start boarding. If they make that announcement and letting you know that they're about to start boarding, you can do it depending on like what group you're in. So if you know that you're in group F and they just started calling group A, you have some time, right? But do that before, and then that way you don't have to, or you shouldn't have to go on the plane so much. Thank you for tuning in once again to Tingz Nice. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please, please, please have safe travels wherever you go. And remember to use your brain and don't fret about anything. It's going to be all right. Because I've been in some doozy travel situations, okay? All right, we got this. Bye, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Jumbo jet, jumbo jet, jumbo jet. Straight from the party, straight in the fed.